how many people are involved or volunteer within their community? Okay, so a good amount. On average, companies save $15 per person, well, nonprofit organizations save $15 per person with people who help volunteer their time instead of like having to pay for it. And volunteering or being involved in a community not only makes an impact on yourself, but it also makes an impact on people who are within your community or like the families that live within your community. Community benefits. When you get involved with your community, you provide a better place for the youth to do your community. Like some people help to clean up the parks out of there or like their swimming pools and stuff, and so the youth or the younger kids have a better place to play and just go outside and have fun. It also helps provide for the less fortunate, so when people donate their like time to run a soup kitchen, or if they donate their clothes to people who don't have clothes or like lost their clothes in like an earthquake or a fire or something, you're giving to those who don't have as much as you do. And like I said, it creates a healthier community when you can clean up parks and stuff. And it also helps education programs, like if you donate your money, like for sports team, like the Littlestown football team does a 5K run where you pay to run in the 5K, and then all the money they get goes to getting them new uniforms and equipment. And they also sell spirit cards, which is like a little card that gets you like discounts on like local stores and restaurants, which all the money also goes back to the football team. And being involved in the community, so like if you go out and go to like sporting events like basketball games or football games or soccer or whatever sport, not only does the money that you pay to get into that sporting event go back to the sporting teams and the school for educational like purchases, it also increases the sports team performance by almost 45%. So not only does it benefit the school and the sports team, it also would make your watching more enjoyable because they actually play better if more people come out and support them. Not only does being involved with the community or volunteering help the community, it also has some commercial benefits. It promotes the social being and creates new friendships. So like the people you volunteer with, or if you're around them a lot, you create new friendships and more like you can span your horizon. You also learn new skills and activities. So if you try like a new activity to volunteer with it, you learn like not only how to do new things, but you learn like not only about people, but what they love to do. It also increases your self-esteem when you see like the impact you've created. So like when you help someone less fortunate than you, just to see that they're happy by something little that you did, boosts your self-esteem. It opens you up to more opportunities. People who volunteer have been shown to have a higher rate of finding jobs. Also, it's a Christian belief to like help others who are less fortunate than you. Also, the Corporation of Natural and Community Service did a recent study that shows that those who volunteer have a lower mortality rate, greater functionability, and lower rates of depression later in life. And the study also shows that like when you volunteer, you have a sense of purpose. Like some people who like don't really have a sense of purpose in life go out and volunteer, and they find that they're really meant to do something. Yeah. And these are just some charts showing. The one on the left says volunteers have 27% higher odds of finding employment than non-volunteers. And then the relationship between volunteering and employment, who was strongest for individuals without a high school diploma and those who live in rural areas. So if you didn't have a high school diploma and you volunteered, your chances went up to 1%, and if you lived in a rural area and volunteered, it went up 55%. And then the ones on the right, the top one is volunteer rate versus age-adjusted mortality rate. So people who volunteered more had a lower mortality rate. And then on the bottom, it's volunteer rate and age-adjusted incident or heart disease. So again, the more you volunteered, the less likely you had heart disease or something like that. Volunteering in your community and just being involved not only affects you, but affects the people around you, and it makes a lasting impact. Tanner's Touch is a locally founded, community-based nonprofit organization created in Littlestown. A lady named Stephanie had a son named Tanner who got cancer at the age of 3, and she was overwhelmed by all the medical bills and stuff. And thankfully, like, the community stepped up and helped her pay her financial bills, so she created this organization to help cancer patients get money so that they could pay their medical bills. And when I asked her, like, what was the, what was a big impact, she said nothing would be possible without the community's donations. And there's this little boy that I got to talk to, his name's Benjamin, and he's 10, he's also diagnosed with cancer, and he said that being sick sucks. And that without the help of Tanner's Touch, like, his family wouldn't have been able to go and do all the fun activities and stuff that they would be able to. And on average, 1 in every 4 elementary schools has a kid with cancer, and the average high school has 2 students who are current or former cancer patients. Another organization is Make-A-Wish. They give terminally ill kids wishes from donations. So all the money that they raise, they give a terminally ill kid a wish, like something that they always wanted to do. Like a little girl named Julie Lockery got to go see Tim McGraw perform, and Tim McGraw signed a guitar for her, and she got to keep it and got to go tour all over Las Vegas and stuff. And then Julie's Wish is a basketball tournament created by the Littlestown basketball team. What they do is, like, any basketball teams that enter, all the money raised and stuff goes to nonprofit organizations like Make-A-Wish and Tanner's Touch. And over the past few years, they were able to give a little girl a therapeutic pool to help with, like, rehab and stuff. And they gave a little boy a trip to Texas to see his sister that he hasn't seen in over 4 years. And one of the volunteers at Make-A-Wish said that there's nothing better than seeing a smile on a kid's face after they haven't smiled for a while. So by volunteering in your community and, like, donating your time and stuff, it not only affects, like, who you are emotionally, but it also affects those little kids or families that they've been around. And on the left, there's a picture of the Littlestown football team donating their time to Tanner's Touch and their color run. So all the money that they made goes back to Tanner's Touch so that they can help families with money. And on the right is Make-A-Wish. They kind of did a walk, and so we paid a walk, and then all the money raised goes to help create wishes for terminally ill kids. So in conclusion, I think that people should devote their time and volunteer to help people, because even like an hour of time creates a big difference, not only in your life personally, but also in the lives in the community.